Hi, everyone. Bill Rentschler in the 1011 Now streaming studio. Hope everyone is having a nice Monday afternoon. And again, it is Monday, and that means we have a regularly scheduled segment with the Better Business Bureau. Josh Planos with the Better Business Bureau joining us again today. And again, Josh always has very timely topics. And again, today's topic, no different, Josh. Talking about porch pirates. But first, I want to know how your weekend was and if you did anything exciting.
It was good, Bill. I stayed out of that ridiculous weather that you brought us
I did.
last night.
I did do that. I'm sorry.
It's awfully wet. Didn't even give us the wintry wonderland that I think many of us were hoping for. But yeah, I stayed warm. I went to the Nebraska Creighton basketball game. Had
Whew.
myself a good time.
Now, were you rooting for Nebraska or were you rooting for Creighton? Or
It
were you
depends on who
just
you
rooting
ask.
for the state of Nebraska as a whole?
I was cheering for the state and for the sport to be played at its highest level, and I got one of those things.
You did. You absolutely did. So yeah, obviously, with we had Black Friday a couple weeks ago, and Cyber Monday, and everything else, and obviously the holidays very quickly approaching. One of the things that we got to talk about in this segment is porch pirates and keeping your packages in on your porch and not being taken by someone with sticky fingers.
Yeah, the rise of online marketplaces and expedited delivery services, where now you can get a package in what seems like a night, is really convenient for a lot of consumers, especially those right here in Lincoln and Greater Nebraska. But allowing shoppers to search for the perfect gift for friends and family, unfortunately, does not guarantee that you are actually going to receive that gift, especially if you've been watching the news. Over the past few weeks, we've had a number of reports pop up of packages that may have made it to the door and then were swiped by someone who was also looking for a free package. But there are fortunately some best practices to follow this time of year, as we know folks are doing more and more of their shopping online and wanting to pay for that convenience, but they also want the security, right? That their money is going toward a good or service that is actually going to show up and remain there until they bring it indoors.
And I think we probably all have at this point, again with Amazon and like you said, the 1 or 2 day delivery being so prevalent over the past few years. I know I've had packages kind of be like, hey, I ordered this, but I didn't get it. Where did this end up? Was it someone on the shipping side that maybe it just went to the wrong place, or was it like we see in the video that we have rolling on here? Was it taken off my front porch? So we have some tips to try and again make sure you don't fall victim to this.
Yeah, our number one tip actually is to write down when it is that you purchase something online. That might seem overly simplistic, but how many of us honestly do that? I would say very few, right? And all too often with things like fake text message delivery updates and things like packages that don't show up. A lot of that you can really avoid if you are tracking and have an expectation that a certain gift will show up on a certain day, right? I mean, even just writing it down is a really good place to start to know whether or not you should be expecting a package to show up that day. Maybe you make alternative arrangements with work if you can be home during that 2 to 3 hour time window in which the package is set to arrive. But another thing that we also recommend, right, is that this is really an opportunity to start a conversation with your neighbors. We encourage you to check in with them before you go the route of filing a police report or contacting the sender or coming to the BBB. Sometimes that package might not be stolen at all. It might just simply be at the wrong address. I live at an 8320 address. There have been a number of instances in which that package has gone to an 8230 address. That's just a couple houses down. Very simple mistake, but you want to make sure that you're at least checking in with your neighbors to continue that relationship, but also to ensure that the package isn't just on the wrong front doorstep, rather than assuming that it has been stolen from you.
And that's a street that goes both ways. Hey, I have something being delivered. Can you keep an eye out? and you can also help out your neighbor at the same time doing that. And again, it's a good way because that's probably a whole other segment, different topic. But I feel like getting to know your neighbors maybe isn't quite as prevalent as it used to be a long time ago. But it is a good way to at least get to know your neighbors and to get to know the people in your neighborhood, because then that can go even beyond packages. Maybe if you're going to be on vacation for a week, hey, can you kind of keep an eye on the house, type of deal, and make sure that no one's showing up there that shouldn't be there. And probably again, one of the number one things that we can do is to have some sort of security camera on your front doorstep. And again, with the Ring doorbell, and there's so many cheap options now. It's affordable, and it's something that's pretty easily doable nowadays.
Local law enforcement loves these things, right? Anytime you can install a home security system with cameras, or you have a camera-enabled doorbell, it's a great way to deter package theft from occurring in your neighborhood, especially when it's in a highly visible area. You can consider including a sign that specifically states that the residence is under surveillance. Even if it leads to 5% fewer incidents, that is a step that you should take. And if a package is ultimately stolen from your porch, that video evidence is crucial. It'll help local law enforcement track down the thieves. That information can, of course, be passed along to news media outlets to maximize the scale and the scope of the exposure of that criminal. But this is a really nice and easy step nowadays to take to ensure that your front porch is at the very least being monitored. In a perfect world, we wouldn't need this technology. The reality is some of these situations do pop up, even right here in Nebraska. And you want to make sure that you at least have some security in place to protect yourself and to allow yourself, that much more of a runway to actually get that item back where it was, originally intended to be delivered.
Yeah, and again, like getting to know your neighbors, the security camera, it's not. It goes so much further than just watching your front porch. It can kind of watch the sidewalk out in front of your house, the street out in front of your house. And then, I had an incident where I had someone come banging on my door late at night. And again, I wasn't home at the time, and so my wife was scared. So again, these security devices can go a long way for not just protecting against theft from your front porch. I did appreciate. I saw the story recently. There was a porch theft. It was actually the Amazon delivery driver, Josh. And you know how they snap the picture of the package at your front porch? You see him snap the picture, and then he picks the package back up and he walks off. But again, because the security camera was there, they were immediately like, "You stole our package."
Well, I mean, talk about not reading the room. That's frankly, I mean, that's astonishing that someone would go that far to steal a package, especially with, do you even know what's in the package? I mean, half the time, just the idea of taking a box that you have no idea what's in it is it seems ludicrous to me. But of course, folks are looking for free holiday gifts this time of year. I'm glad that the perpetrator was caught, though.
Yes, he was. A couple other things that you had mentioned to me in terms of, again, helping to prevent some of this kind of stuff. What else do you have on your list?
Yeah, if you can require a signature, that is typically best practice nowadays. Just like, we talk a lot about dual factor authentication and how frustrating that can be because, it does extend the amount of time it takes to, access your bank account by, a couple of minutes. It really is best practice now to create these safety nets for yourself. And one of those with regard to online shopping is a signature requirement. A lot of delivery companies include an option to require a signature before leaving a package. It allows you to take physical possession of the item as soon as it's delivered and does not allow any sort of porch pirate situation to exist. This option, of course, works really well for those who are already at home, especially for expensive items. It might create difficulties in receiving packages if your schedule and the delivery service differ, but it is a fail-safe way of getting that package to your front door and inside the home as quickly as possible. And so it's a safety option to consider. Again, might not work for everybody's schedule, but it is a really great way to avoid the types of scams and the types of thefts that we're talking about here.
And certainly, you wouldn't have to necessarily do that on every single delivery you have. But hey, maybe if it's something, hey, if it's over $100 or if it's over $200 or whatever it might be, I want a signature to get this thing delivered.
And another option, right, is to ship it to a store, right?
Mm-hmm.
That is another option that most of these providers will allow for. If you purchase an item from a retailer with a physical location near your home, you can consider shipping it there instead. A lot of folks like that just because they want to keep their, again, their home as secure as possible. And if you're already kind of in the neighborhood of a popular retailer, just, going out of your way a little bit to, essentially provide your proof of purchase or identification to receive your package is a good way to, again, keep that home as safe as possible. For a lot of folks, the home is, the central to your existence. And so you want to make sure that at the very least, you are feeling safe and secure every time you walk into the door. One way you can do that with online shopping is to go just a little bit out of your way to have that package shipped to a store.
And the nice part, if you're again kind of like me, if you're in a house with young children, especially during the holidays, every time there's a delivery, my 7-year-old and my 6-year-old absolutely know about it, and they have questions about what is inside the box or what is inside the bag. So if you have it shipped to a store, you can avoid the snooping eyes of small children who are trying to get a sneak peek at what their Christmas present or holiday present could potentially be.
It keeps the dogs happy as
Yes, it
well.
does. Absolutely.
It's always kind of a gamble whether or not that doorbell is going to be rung or if the package is just going to be left there. And speaking to your last point, Bill, one of our other major tips, right, is to not leave unattended packages. That also extends to once the package has been brought into the home, right? If you are looking to keep that package a surprise, if you're looking to keep it safe from loved ones or friends or family or pets, you want to make sure that that package is in a nice, secure place. The same protocol should extend once the home or once the good comes inside the home. You want to make sure that that package is secure and in a place that is safe.
Yeah, I've already fallen victim to leaving unattended packages, not in the home, but in my vehicle. And my 7-year-old and 6-year-old found out they were getting Paw Patrol Monopoly Junior. So don't be like me.
Not everything can be a surprise this holiday season. I do want to note, right, if you do fear that your package has been stolen and you have followed all of these steps, you've checked in with neighbors, you've done everything in your power to understand that this package is not where it was supposed to be. That is the moment you do file a report with your local police department. You can file a report with the delivery company. You can bring that information to us and we will give it to the police department. Make sure that you report the experience, though. You don't want to just assume that, because the good was not worth, the entirety of your monthly paycheck, that it doesn't deserve your attention or that it didn't deserve to be reported. That's no way to protect your neighbors, to protect your fellow community members. So, again, have those receipts ready, have that tracking information ready, have the product ready, and submit that when you do ultimately report your experience. Hopefully you won't have to, but if it does come, to that, you want to make sure you have all of your information in one place such that you can give local law enforcement the best possible runway with which to work.
And I personally haven't had any bad experiences, but I'm assuming most companies, whether it be Amazon or wherever you're ordering from, that when I've had an issue, they've replaced the item for me, or they've just shipped me a new one. And so most of the time that's probably going to happen. I would think, again, that's an assumption, but that also doesn't mean, like you said, to not report that incident from happening.
Mm-hmm. And chances are, if someone is swiping a package off your front door, it's realistic that could be happening to your neighbor, 2 houses down, anybody within your zip code, right? If somebody has the confidence, the willingness to swipe a package off your front door, they have the same confidence to do the same thing to someone else, someone you care about. You want to make sure that you are doing what you can to protect your community. And on a human level, I'd like to think that we could all get behind that.
Yeah, because it's something that it's done in 10 seconds. Because, most of the time, it can just be a small package and you just walk up and you grab it and you go. And then you're walking down the sidewalk with the package in your hand and you don't necessarily look out of place. So something that can happen very, very quick. Josh, is there anything else you wanted to add about today's segment before we let you go?
Don't be afraid to do your shopping online. Another really great way to protect yourself from these types of scams, these types of theft, is to shop locally. Right? If you're purchasing a product, a good, a service from someone in your local community, you don't need to wait for it to be shipped to you. That is a fantastic way to avoid all of this.
100%. Again, always good when you can shop local. Again, I know it's easier sometimes at the big box stores, but those local businesses certainly depend on everyone's business this time of year. Josh, as always, thank you so much for hopping in and joining us today. We'll talk to you again next Monday.
Sounds good. Thank you, Bill.
All right, again, that's Josh Planos from the Better Business Bureau. As always, appreciate his time, and again, appreciate everyone for listening in and for watching. We'll have another segment with Josh next Monday. In the meantime, again, for all of your latest news, weather, and sports, make sure